Okay. So, what is the definition of armature reaction? Already, while discussing DC missions, you may come across the armature reaction effect, right? So, from there, what is the definition? The effect of armature flux on main field flux is nothing but armature reaction, isn't it? So, the effect of armature flux on main field flux, isn't it? This is nothing but armature reaction. Okay, simply effect of armature flux on main field flux. So let us see how these armature flux is going to affect the main field flux. Okay, so to analyze that one, I am going to consider a synchronous mission, cylindrical rotor synchronous mission. Let us take a cylindrical rotor synchronous mission. So let us take a cylindrical rotor synchronous mission, and in this cylindrical rotor, this is my rotor. Okay, this is the rotor, and this is my stator. So rotor has field winding, right? In our synchronous mission, field winding will be there on rotor, and now it is a cylindrical rotor mission. So I am considering the direction of current flowing in the field as like this. So all these conductors are cross and all these conductors is dot. Okay. So by applying right hand thumb rule, you can able to find the direction of flux, right? Apply right hand thumb rule. By applying right hand thumb rule, all the top side conductors are represented with cross. That means current is entering, and here at the bottom current is leaving. So by applying right hand thumb rule, we can able to say the direction of magnetic field produced by this winding will be like this. This is the direction of magnetic field produced by this field winding. Okay, it will act as north pole and it will act as a south pole. So we know that the flux starts leaving from the north pole and terminates at south pole. This will be indicated with the help of right hand thumb rule. Okay, okay, then so here we have stator conductors also. In our stator we have armature conductors, right? So let us try to represent those armature conductors. So I have armature conductors like this. So those are all displaced by 120 degrees. This is A, this is B, and this is C. 1 second. Okay, sorry for the disturbance. So here A, B, C conductors are the three-phase windings of stator. And coming to this, here another conductor will be there, belongs to A phase, that is A dash. Okay, A and A dash, these two conductors belongs to A phase. Similarly, B and B dash belongs to B phase. C and C dash belongs to C phase. Okay, then based on this magnetic field, and now the rotor is rotating in the direction of anti-clockwise. Now the rotor is rotating in anti-clockwise direction. Then what will be the EMF induced in these conductors? Let us try to apply Fleming's right hand rule. Why? Because it is a generating action. Now rotor is rotating in anti-clockwise direction. Here we have north pole and here we have a south pole. Okay. So then apply Fleming's right hand rule. If you apply Fleming's right hand rule, this is the magnetic field direction, four-finger direction, right? And the force acting in downward. So your thumb need to be in downward. Okay. This is four-finger. Flux indicates four-finger and direction of force acting on the conductor, it will be in downward. But here our conductor is stationary, but rotor is moving in anti-clockwise direction. That's why we will consider the direction of this conductor in clockwise direction. Assumption we need to take. This assumption, the direction of assumption should be opposite to the rotor movement. Already we seen this thing, right? Then apply Fleming's right hand rule. This is the magnetic field direction and force acting on the conductor is in upward direction. Then the induced EMF in this conductor will be a dot. Okay. Similarly, these two conductors also represents dot. Why? Because these three conductors, A, B dash and C, these three conductors are there under the influence of North Pole, and C dash, B and A dash, these three are under the influence of South Pole. That's why I'm representing with the opposite notation. Okay. Then from the stator winding diagram, from these notations, we can able to represent stator magnetic field, right? In our stator, we have armature winding. So we can able to represent armature flux direction with the help of right hand thumb rule. On the right side, C dash B A dash, current is entering and here current is leaving. Then apply right hand thumb rule. Then the direction of magnetic field will be in upward direction. Right? This is the direction of magnetic field. I am representing this one as phi A. Why? Because it is the armature magnetic field. Armature is there on stator. This is a stator magnetic field, armature magnetic field. Okay. So this is the direction of magnetic field. And here the direction of induced EMF. If you observe in this picture, how we are operating, we are giving a DC supply, DC excitation to the rotor, right? We are giving DC supply to the rotor initially. Then only these currents are flowing in the rotor winding or field winding. Because if this current flowing in the field winding, it produces a magnetic field phi F. This magnetic field, rotating magnetic field, it cuts the armature conductors and it induces EMF in the armature. Isn't it right? These EMF drives the current in the armature that leads to the armature flux. Again, this armature flux is affecting this main field flux. So whatever the effect of armature flux on main field flux is known as armature reaction. Right? This is what happening in the machine. If you observe here in this, the angle between, if you represent the phasor diagram for this operation, the angle between field flux and induced EMF in the armature will be 90 degrees. So initially we are giving DC excitation. That's why we got rotating magnetic field in our air gap. This rotating magnetic flux cuts this conductor and induces EMF. That's why there is a displacement of 90 degrees. Why? Because why 90? Because our synchronous generator having windings, they are pure inductive in nature. That's why there will be a displacement of 90 degrees between main field flux and EMF. Right? Not only here, even in case of transformer or induction machine, there will be a 90 degrees displacement between the field flux and induced EMF in the conductor in any machine. This thing you seen in transformer phasor also. There also, E uh, magnetic field leads the voltage by 90 degrees. The same thing here also. Okay, there will be a 90 degrees displacement. Let us try to represent that EMF over here. So now the EMF, here it is. So this is the EMF. Okay. So if you observe here, there is a displacement of 90 degrees between induced EMF and magnetic field. Isn't it? There is a displacement of 90 degrees between induced EMF and magnetic field. That is what I explained here. Okay. Because of magnetic flux, you got EMF. That means magnetic flux in lead with respect to induced EMF. Okay, here phi f is leading. Okay, this is the phasor diagram representation. So from this, if you observe from this, how this phi a, this magnetic field, armature magnetic field phi a, it is moving in upward direction. Here the main field phi f, it is moving in towards the left direction. How these two are moving? These two are moving perpendicular with each other and they are crossing with each other. Then we call it as a cross magnetization effect. Here the effect of armature flux on main field flux is a cross magnetization effect. Here in this case is for a unity power factor case. Mainly armature reaction depends on two things. The first one is load and load power factor. Load and load power factor. So based on these two, load and load power factor, the armature reaction effect will vary. Okay. So we need to see that one. See here, if load increases, if the amount of load on the alternator increases, then what happens to the armature current? Armature current also increases flowing through the armature winding. If armature current increases, what happens to the phi A? Armature flux also increases because of this armature current. Due to increase in the armature flux, armature reaction effect will increase. Okay, due to increase in the load. Due to increase in the load, armature reaction effect will increase. Isn't it clear? And we need to see the effect of power factor on armature reaction. Let us try to analyze for different power factors. We know we have unity power factor, lagging power factor, leading power factor. The two we have ZPF lagging, zero power factor leading, or 0.8 lagging. For different cases we will see one by one. Okay, how this armature reaction effect will vary. Let us see one by one. So this thing you up to this point it is okay, right? Is there any doubt? Here I explained the operation of synchronous generator. From this operation, I drawn the phasor of magnetic field and EMF. How these two are? These two are displaced by 90 degrees and for unity power factor. Now this operation is for unity power factor. For unity power factor, this armature flux phi A is in phase with E. Okay, that is for unity power factor. Let us see the first one for unity power factor. So unity power factor. So for unity power factor, if you draw the same phasor diagram, we know that our main field flux, phi f leads induced EMF in the armature by 90 degrees, right? These things just now I defined here. In any mission, in case of transformer or induction mission or synchronous mission, this will remain same. This phi f is the field flux, main field flux, and E is the induced EMF in the armature conductors. Okay, why this relation will be there in between these two means initially we are giving field excitation. We are giving field excitation to the field winding. That's why we got magnetic field. Because of this magnetic field cutting the conductors, we got EMF. So that's why first field flux will be there, later EMF will be there. Okay, so that's why we have field flux leads this induced EMF by 90 degrees. So now we are discussing unity power factor. Unity power factor, right? Where E is the EMF induced in armature, right? Induced in armature, and phi A is the armature flux. Armature flux. So where E is proportional to the terminal voltage, right? And phi A is proportional to armature current, isn't it? How this phi A is producing? Because of the current flowing through the armature conductors, we got armature flux. Okay. How this terminal voltage you got? Because of the induced EMF, we got output terminal voltage in case of generator. So here IA and VT. So this is nothing but terminal voltage, and we need to represent the IA or phi A. So in case of unity power factor, VT and IA, voltage and current, both are in phase. That is what unity power factor, right? So here our armature flux in phase with induced EMF, then we call it as a unity power factor, isn't it? See, E means VT, phi A means IA. The angle between these two is 0. Then we call it as unity power factor. This is the phasor diagram for unity power factor. Okay. So, what is mean by armature reaction? The effect of this armature flux on main field flux. Here, what is the effect? If you observe, our magnetic field, main field, is moving in this direction, right? This is the main field, and coming to the armature flux, the armature flux is moving in upward direction, phi A. How these two are? These two main, our armature flux crossing this magnetic field. Then we call it as a cross magnetization effect. So cross magnetizing effect. Clear? And the resultant of these two, the resultant of these two is the resultant flux. Resultant flux in the air gap. Okay. This is the resultant flux. This is for unity power factor. So in case of unity power factor, the effect of armature reaction is purely cross magnetization effect. Let us come to ZPF lagging. Zero power factor lagging. That means cos. So the angle between V and I, it is 90 degrees, right? 90 lagging. This angle is equal to 90. So if you represent the phasor diagram, same phasor diagram again. So initially we know always our magnetic field and induced EMF have a relation of 90 degrees. This phi f leads induced EMF by 90 degrees. And now we are saying zero power factor lagging. So now our armature flux lags this E by 90 degrees. That is the meaning of zero power factor lagging. So this is our phi A. So how this armature flux? It lags. Phi A is nothing but IA, right? It is directly proportional to IA. E is directly proportional to VT. So the angle between these two is 90 degrees. That's why we call it as a zero power factor lagging. So in this case, how these two fluxes are moving opposite to each other, right? Here our main field is moving in this direction, and our armature flux, it is moving in this direction. So those two are moving opposite with respect to each other. Then we call it as a purely demagnetization, demagnetizing effect. Why I am saying it as a demagnetizing effect? The resultant magnetic field will decrease because of this direction, right? These two are moving opposite, right? Then what will be the resultant? Phi f minus phi a. This is the resultant, right? So the resultant will decrease here. That's why I am saying demagnetization. Demagnetization means decreasing of flux. So let us move to another power factor, that is ZPF leading. So here also the angle between these two is 90 but leading. ZPF leading power factor. So in this case, so this is the direction of magnetic field and this is the direction of induced EMF, phi f and induced EMF. These two have an angle of 90 degrees. And here our armature flux need to be lead this EMF by 90 degrees. That is the ZPF leading. So here our armature flux phi A is over here and it is leading this induced EMF by 90 degrees. Here phi A leads E by 90. That's why we call it as a ZPF leading. So now what will be the direction of magnetic fields here? Here both main magnetic field and our armature magnetic field both are moving in same direction. Then the resultant magnetic field will increase. The resultant will be this one, right? Sum of these two is the resultant. So this will be the resultant magnetic field. So the amount of magnetic field is increasing because of this leading power factor. Then we call it as a purely magnetization effect. We call it as a purely magnetizing effect. Okay. Let us see for 0.8 lagging power factor. Up to now we see in ZPF lagging and ZPF leading power factors. Let us see 0.8 lagging. That means it is not a pure inductive. It is RL type load. If load is RL, then we got 0.8 lagging. How these power factors are varying? Unity power factor or ZPF lagging, ZPF leading. How these power factors are varying here? Based on the load. Okay. So if load is a resistive, then we call it as a unity power factor. If load is a pure inductive, then it is a ZPF lagging. If load is an RL load, then we got 0.8 lagging power factor. So based on the load power factor, we are analyzing the effect of armature reaction. Okay. So let us see. Now in the case of 0.8 lagging, So this will be the magnetic field, and this is our induced EMF. So induced EMF and magnetic field, main magnetic field. So our phi A lags this induced EMF by some angle, 0.8 power factor, cos inverse of 0.8. With that angle, it is lagging, right? Maybe this will be the resultant flux, armature flux. So here it is 0.8 lagging, right? So the angle is less than 90 here. Angle is less than 90. And we can resolve this armature flux into two components here, a vertical component and a horizontal component. So if you resolve this one into two components, here we got phi AV vertical component and phi AH horizontal component. We got a vertical component and horizontal component. Sum of these two fluxes is the armature flux. So what will be the resultant flux here? Here, if you add these two, phi A and phi F, so this will be our resultant flux, right? This is the resultant flux phi R. Okay. Then what will be the effect here? Here two effects are there. We resolve this armature flux into two components, a vertical component and a horizontal component. With respect to horizontal component, if you observe the magnetic field, these two are moving in opposite direction. And with respect to this vertical component, it is moving perpendicular with phi F. So both the effects are there. Due to vertical component, we have cross magnetization effect. Due to horizontal component, we have demagnetization effect. So here, our main field is moving in this direction. This is our main field. If you observe this armature, vertical component is moving in upward direction. This is phi AV, and horizontal component is moving like this, right? So if you compare these two, here we have a cross magnetization effect, and if you compare these two, here you have a demagnetization effect. Why? Because those two are moving in opposite direction. So what is the effect of armature reaction here? Partly, not purely, partly cross magnetizing, partly cross magnetizing plus partly demagnetizing. So this will be the effect of armature reaction in the case of 0.8 power factor lagging. So let us move to 0.8 leading. So in case of 0.8 leading, this is my field flux and this is my armature flux. Sorry, induced EMF. So field flux leads this induced EMF by 90 degrees. Now it is leading 0.8 leading. So this is my resultant armature flux phi A. Phi A. It leads this EMF by some angle. So we can resolve this into two components again. If you resolve it into two components, you got both the vertical component of armature flux and the horizontal component of armature flux. The resultant of these two, if you observe the resultant of these two, so this will be the resultant, right? Phi A plus phi F. This gives you the resultant flux over here. So this is the phi R, right? This will be the resultant flux. Okay. And if you observe the effect of armature reaction, our main field flux is moving in this direction. phi f is the main field flux. It is moving in this direction. And coming to the armature flux, you resolve that one into two components. Vertical component, it is moving in upward direction, and horizontal component moving in the same direction of main field flux. Okay. If you compare these two, you got cross magnetization effect. If you compare these two, you got magnetizing effect, right? So here, the effect of armature reaction is partly cross magnetization, partly cross magnetizing effect, plus partly magnetizing effect. Okay, this will be the effect of armature reaction, effect of armature flux on main field flux. How this armature flux is affecting this main field flux. Okay, this is what about armature reaction in the case of generator, right? Up to now we seen for generator, right? This is for generator. What we discussed here, it is a generating action. So for this generator, based on different loads, unity power factor and ZPF lagging, leading. So based on loads, the effect of armature reaction is varying. Right? Now let us see for motor also. For the case of motor, in the case of motor, we need to get a mechanical output, right? In case of generator, sorry. So in case of generator, what we need to get? We need to get a electrical output. So we are giving mechanical input and we are getting a electrical output. But in the case of motor, we are giving electrical input and we are going to get mechanical output. Okay. So here electrical output in the sense EMF, right? Induced EMF, where we are going to take output as induced EMF under open circuit. Here we are giving input as a EMF. So what happens to the direction of EMF here? The direction of induced EMF gets reversed here. It becomes negative, right? Here in case of generator, if you consider the EMF is positive, means in case of motor, the EMF will flow in reverse direction. That means it is negative. So while representing the phasor, so I need to represent, this is my main field flux. Okay. Sorry, I'll represent once again. This is my main field flux. In case of generator, this is my EMF. And in case of motor, this is my EMF, negative. This is my main field flux. And this is the generator EMF. This is the motor EMF, minus E. Okay. This is for motor EMF. And this is a generator in case of generator. Isn't it right? Why? Here, based on the inputs and outputs, we can able to say this one. So now we need to consider this minus E while discussing the motor. Okay, with respect to this one, we need to say. So let us try to analyze for different power factors again. So we will see for different power factors like unity power factor, we will see, and we will see ZPF lagging, we will see, and ZPF leading, we will see. Okay. Let us try to analyze for motor. So in case of motor, just now we see the direction of main field flux and EMF will be like this, right? So this is the direction of main field and this is the direction of induced EMF. And in case of unity power factor, both phi A and E will be in phase, right? This is the unity power factor. So in this case, what is the effect? It is cross magnetization. Why? magnetic field is moving like this, main field, armature flux is moving like this. Those two are crossing. So the effect is purely cross magnetization effect. Purely cross magnetization. In case of generator also we got the same thing. Okay. Let us move to the ZPF lagging. So in case of ZPF lagging, so this is my magnetic field and this is the EMF in motor. So how the armature flux will be? The armature flux needs to lag this induced EMF by 90 degrees. Then this will be the armature flux, right? This is the lagging. Now phi A lags this induced EMF by 90 degrees. This is the direction of phi A. So then what is the effect here? Both main field and armature flux are moving in same direction. Then we call it as a purely magnetization effect. Right? So let us move to the next one. ZPF leading. In case of ZPF leading, this is my magnetic field. This is the induced EMF in case of motor. Okay, phi F and induced EMF. In case of ZPF leading, this magnetic field phi A need to be lead with respect to induced EMF. So this is the phi A. If you observe here, this phi A leads this induced EMF by 90 degrees. Then what is the effect here? It is purely demagnetization effect. Magnetizing effect. From this we can able to conclude the remaining also, right? In the case of motor, in case of 0.8 lagging, you need to answer for this. Can anybody answer for this? In case of 0.8 lagging, what is the effect of armature reaction for motor? Can anybody? What is the effect of armature reaction for a motor in case of 0.8 lagging? You can able to answer based on the discussion up to now, up to this point. You can able to answer for this. Try to answer. Right, Ram Prasad.
Partly cross magnetizing plus partly magnetizing.
Partly cross, right? Good. Whatever you said is right. Okay, okay. So it will be partly cross magnetizing plus partly magnetizing effect. How you are saying this one means? So 0.8 lagging you are trying to answer, right? Already we defined for ZPF lagging. It is purely magnetizing. Now 0.8 lagging. It is there in between these two, unity power factor and ZPF lagging. So cross magnetization plus magnetization. Both will be there in this case. The same thing here also we defined, right? In case of generator also, if you observe 0.8 lagging, we have partly cross magnetization, partly demagnetization here. If you observe here for ZPF lagging, we got purely demagnetization. That's why here we are writing demagnetization, partly demagnetization. But here it is vice versa in case of motor. In case of motor, for lagging, we got magnetization instead of demagnetization. Okay. Likewise, you are writing. So you can able to write for this one also 0.8 leading. We can able to write. Okay. So from this, I will draw the table for different power factors. Then it is better to remember. So here power factor, and for generator and for motor. Okay, let us try to write here for different power factors. First one, unity power factor, and second one, ZPF lagging, and third one, ZPF leading, and fourth one, 0.8 lagging, and fifth one, 0.8 leading. Okay, for these different power factors already we seen. In case of unity power factor, what is the effect? It is purely cross magnetizing effect. So here also, in case of motor also same, it is purely cross magnetizing effect. Okay, coming to 0.8, sorry, ZPF lagging, it is, in case of generator, it is purely demagnetization. In case of generator, in case of motor, it is purely magnetizing, just opposite to the generator. So for ZPF leading for generator, it is purely magnetizing. In case of motor, it is vice versa to generator, purely demagnetizing. Coming to 0.8 lagging, it is partly cross magnetization plus partly, so lagging, right? Already we seen ZPF lagging, demagnetization. So partly demagnetizing. So for this, for motor, it is partly cross magnetization plus partly magnetizing. So 0.8 lagging, again it is partly cross magnetization plus partly magnetizing. So here in case of motor, it is partly cross magnetization plus partly demagnetization. So this is what about armature reaction. Okay, the effect of armature flux on main field flux, and it depends on load and load power factor. So based on different load power factors, we seen how the effect will be, right? This is a load power factor. Okay, if the magnitude of load increases, armature current and armature flux increases, so armature reaction effect also increases. Load is proportional to armature reaction. Is there any doubt in this one? If you have any doubt, raise your hand. No doubts, right?